The deposit slip listing report is a time-saving feature that you can use when you're preparing a group of payments to take to the bank for deposit. This report lists individual payments for each client and it subtotals them by payment type. At the bottom of the report, you'll also have a grand total for the total of all payment types. You can simply print this report and include it in the documents you take to the bank for the deposit, and this will eliminate the need for you to handwrite a list of individual payments that are going into that deposit. So let's take a look at how to create this report, which is available from the full screen side of iForgeAhead. From anywhere in the system, you'll go to the menu bar at the top, and under Money Matters, select Payments. That will take you to the Payments Lookup list. And you'll start to create the report in this screen by selecting the payments that you'd like to include in the deposit slip listing. You'll select them using the checkbox in the far left column by clicking on each box. But before we go to selecting them individually, I'd like to show you a very quick way to run this report. In the Action panel on the left side of this page, you'll have the filter controls, which allow you to change the contents of the lookup list. You can filter the list by a specific client, showing only payments for that selected client that's selected in this drop-down list. You can also filter them by a specific date range using these controls. And you can further filter them with these controls. The last one says by payment type, which is displayed in this column here in the list. And just above that is the deposit status filter, and that field is displayed in this column in the list. The deposit status is of particular interest for this report, and the main purpose of this field is to help you quickly select the payments to be included in the report, and I'll demonstrate that here. We'll use the filter control to select only non-deposited payments. That will refresh the list, so now our payments include only those that have the deposited flag as unchecked. Now we can simply click the Select All box at the top to select all of these payments to be included in the report. If any of these should not be included, obviously you can unselect them individually by clicking on the checkbox. Once you have your group of selected payments for the report, you'll return to the Action panel and use this control that allows you to perform specific actions on any group of payments that have been selected in this list. Using this control, we'll click Print Deposit Slip. That will take you to a preview of the report. In addition to the detailed payments by client that you're seeing here in the body of the report, the top of the report also includes an optional field for your account information that the deposit is going into, as well as the deposit date. At the end of this tutorial, I'll show you how to change the information that goes into this field if you'd like to have account information included. You can change the deposit date in the format settings in the Action panel on this screen. We'll use the drop-down list here and indicate that this deposit is going to be for tomorrow. And once we've made the changes to our format settings, we'll click the Save Settings button. That will refresh the report, And now we'll have the new deposit date in the upper right. From this point, you can print the report by clicking the printer icon in the toolbar at the top. Once the report has been printed, you'll want to remember to return to the action panel and click this link which says Mark as Deposited. That will help you maintain your list of payments and which should be included in future deposit slip reports. When we click this link, the system will be updated so that all the payments included in the report you just printed are now flagged as deposited. And the system will indicate that that change has been made in the message box here. Now, since that deposited flag for each payment is very helpful in running this report, let's look at other ways to maintain the accurate reading of the deposited flag. We just noted that from this report, once you've printed it, you should always click this link to indicate that these payments have been deposited. To look at other ways to maintain that data, we'll return to the payments list by clicking this link in the action panel. Now that we're back at our payments lookup list, we can select individual payments here and return to this control in the action panel, which allows us, in addition to printing the deposit slip for the selected payments, we can also select to have them marked deposited or non-deposited. This is a great way to clean up your list if you have some old deposits, or old payments that need to be flagged in a different way. Finally, you can also maintain the deposited status when you're actually entering the payment for the first time. Let's switch into that mode by clicking Add New Payment. Whenever you're entering a new payment that you've received from a client, you'll be at this screen and you'll complete the client field, date, amount, etc. And in this screen, the last checkbox says Exclude from Deposit List. If you check that box, then when you save this payment using the check mark here, that payment will automatically be flagged as already deposited. So you would use this in cases where you don't want to include this payment in a future deposit slip listing. Now, as we wrap up this tutorial, I'd like to show you how to set the account information that's optional that you can include at the top of your deposit slip listing. From anywhere in the system, you'll use the Settings menu at the top and click on Settings. On the Settings navigation screen, below Settings for Reports, click on Deposit Slip Listing. In this screen, you can use this field to change the information that's displayed at the top of your deposit slip listing. You can leave this field blank so there's no information displayed there, or you can enter your account information at this point. Once you've entered the information, simply click the Save button below, and once the information has been saved to the system, then your future deposit slip listing report will include this information at the top. That concludes this tutorial. Thanks so much for choosing iForgeAhead.